Hello and welcome back to Diet in the Digital Age. My name is Delaney. Welcome back, or if you're new, just welcome. So glad to have you here. Last week, we opened up with defining diet culture a little bit more. The definition that we use to define diet culture comes from the National Alliance for Eating Disorders, saying that diet culture is the collective beliefs and practices that promote the pursuit of weight loss as the ultimate marker of health and well-being. We discussed how diet culture is not necessarily a new concept, but has become something much more broadened and more frequently used and kind of in our faces due to the frequent use of social media in our everyday lives. This week, I'd like to focus more on body image specifically and its ties to diet culture and social media. To start out, let's define two key terms: body image and body dissatisfaction. I want you to just take a second and think about what those key terms may mean. According to an article published in 2024 by Khushi Suhag and Shyambabu Rauniar, the term body image refers to an individual's opinions, sentiments, and ideas on their looks. When a person has negative body perceptions and perceives a disconnect between their actual and ideal bodies, this is when they're experiencing a body dissatisfaction. Body image is a term that I've personally heard more than body dissatisfaction, so I'd like to start with that. The way that an individual views themselves through feelings and opinions on their perceived appearance is typically how I think of body image. When I think more about the term and where I would typically hear that, for me, I think of negative body image first on social media. I think of videos that I would see on Instagram or TikTok of people sharing their stories of negative body image and how they took that as motivation to lose weight or improve their lifestyle to give themselves a more positive body image. More often than not, you tend to hear about negative body image as more of a low point and positive body image as that high point that you get to after losing weight, improving your appearance, and becoming healthier. The more I think about it, my immediate shift to negative body image in my brain is essentially body dissatisfaction. This makes me think of it more tied to body image as sort of a subcomponent, and unfortunately a commonly held one. In a Science Direct article titled "Social Media and Body Image Concerns: Current Research and Future Directions" by Jasmine Fardouli and Lenny Vartanian, they mention how, although we know that there's plenty of research confirming that traditional media such as magazines or TV and movies can have a negative impact on body image, social media research is still evolving as it hasn't been with us for as long. The authors mentioned that there are some unique features within social media that can impact the adoption of negative body image from users. Although social media is often used as a form of communication, it's also a place to share and view images and videos. Fardouli and Vartanian state that people often present an idealized version of themselves on social media, uploading only the most attractive images of themselves, which again can be edited or enhanced to their profile, and removing any images that they may deem to be unattractive. Growing up along the rise of many popular social media channels that we use today, I can remember myself and my friends spending anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, sometimes more, trying to create the perfect image to post. Playing with filters, cropping, and anything else to really make ourselves look as perfect as possible before sharing these images of our real selves with the internet. Although these may not have actually been our real selves, like we thought they were, these were idealized versions of ourselves that we were choosing to share with the world, not the version that you would see every day. Another interesting factor of social media is the access and interaction to anyone in the world. This could mean liking your high school best friend's vacation photo and then scrolling down to see Kylie Jenner's new clothing launch in the photo below. With traditional media forms such as magazines and TV or movies, we're really used to comparing ourselves with these celebrities, people that we see as a certain status that may never be attainable to us. On social media, that comparison does not just stop there at celebrities. We use these apps to follow friends, family, influencers, the celebrities as well, and many other types of people. This opens up a wider range and level of person to compare ourselves to. It can be easier to justify why a celebrity looks so perfect because they're a movie star or a pop star. But when we see this ideal body in normal people, it can be a little bit confusing, and that comparison can feel so much more real. This can lead to a more intense feeling of that negative body image because there doesn't feel to be as much of a status difference that we would feel with just celebrities observed in traditional media. I do want to note that many social media trends are formed to try to combat this negative body image and show that not everything on social media is real. An example of this would be a common trend that I personally see resurface every few months among apps like Instagram and TikTok. It's essentially two parts. The first typically goes like, what I can make myself look like, and this will be a clip of someone sucking in their stomach, posing, and doing anything to make themselves look thinner, more perfect, more posed. The second clip will be that same person looking a little bit more relaxed, natural. Their stomach is typically a little bit larger looking because they're not posing. The second part will typically be titled, What I Actually Look Like. Although this type of trend is typically set with good intentions to showcase that posed and perfect may not always be real, the opposite impact can come from it. Comments typically fill up with things such as, I wish I looked like your real body, or you're so perfect. And this message that typically looking thin and photogenic is still a standard of perfection, just not everybody has it as naturally. This is where diet culture comes in, pushing to others that to become thinner, eat right, and become healthier, you can create a more positive perception of yourself. However, there is something to be said more about the increase of positive body image content being pushed on social media. Many influencers over the past few years have really embraced the idea of being authentic and honest about real body types on social media to lessen their own and others' negative body image due to exposure from edited and enhanced bodies constantly being shown via social media. This can be conflicting or sometimes a little bit difficult to internalize and embrace with the sheer variety of content being shared on a daily basis that can contribute to this negative body image. Although perceived body image is something that we mentioned is not new, kind of like diet culture, it is something that is being discussed more frequently and we're a little bit more aware of on a day-to-day basis, just due to the role that social media has begun to play in our day-to-day lives. Social media can play a big role in contributing to negative or positive body image from consumers and users. Body dissatisfaction is something that unfortunately many of us have probably dealt with. And this is when a person has negative body perceptions and perceives a disconnect between their actual and their ideal body types. It can become an ever-present issue through the usage of social media. Constantly seeing these perfect ideal body types being pushed and promoted on social media and receiving millions of likes, comments, and shares can be really confusing and a little bit upsetting sometimes and cause comparison to occur internally. This can lead to further self-criticism or negative perceptions of your own body. It can easily turn into more of a physical issue as well. This can impact mental health, physical health, and overall feelings of self-worth. All of this encompassed can unfortunately impact the way that we choose to live our lives and interact with one another. This being on social media or in our day-to-day lives. So as you can see, the use of diet culture through social media plays a huge role in body image, informing negative or positive body image in normal everyday people like you and I. Thank you so much for joining me this week while we talked a little bit more about diet culture and the ties with body image and body dissatisfaction. Next week, we're going to be diving into eating disorders and disordered eating and the role that that plays with diet culture and the use of social media. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope to see you next week. Again, this has been Delaney with Diet in the Digital Age. Thanks so much.